Okay, so here's the biodata module from the Chameleon Arch. It has all the answers to the Doctor's true identity and origins that Doctor Who fans have been waiting for since we found out that the Doctor is really the timeless child. And what does Chris Chibnall do with it? Flux you, Doctor Who fans! Hey, what's up Earth? It's Spaceman Matt here to talk about the 5 things that I liked and 6 things that I disliked about Doctor Who's 6th episode, 13th season, collectively titled The Flux. So, as expected with these types of videos, there will be spoilers, and it's been a while since I watched it, so there are a lot of details that I don't remember, and most likely I'll be leaving out a lot of details and plot points so that will probably need to figure out what I'm talking about. So if you haven't seen it, you may want to stop watching me and watch it now. Let's start out with the things I liked. Okay, number 5, the opening scene with the first episode, Halloween Apocalypse. It was silly but cute. I liked it when the Doctor says that she might have been Scottish when she programmed her voice-activated handcuffs, referring to her previous incarnation portrayed by Scottish actor Peter Capaldi, when she ordered her handcuffs to release. I can't do a good Scots brogue, so I'm not going to try, but she rolled her R's. And number 4, I thought there was a funny scene with the Chocoholic Sontaran, and it was just kind of a funny little insertion of an otherwise pretty mediocre use of Sontarans. Number 3, I like that Diana came up with the solution for stopping the flux and not the Doctor. Perhaps the Doctor should give her TARDIS over to Diana and let her save the universe instead. Personally, I would have probably chosen Diana as a companion over Dan. Number 2, I like the idea of the dog-like Lupari, a race of aliens bonded with humans to serve as our protectors. Mainly, I just think it could be a great plush toy idea for the children whose overzealous Whovian parents force them to watch Doctor Who even though it scares the bejeebers out of them. Here, love, just hold on to your little Lupari for the scary bits. He'll protect you. And the number 1 thing I liked, which was a major thing, was the Village of the Angels episode, which was the best use of the Weeping Angels since they were first introduced in the episode Blink. It does a great job of reintroducing the angels and explaining their powers, plus they have a straightforward goal of capturing the Doctor, so it makes for a great story. It kind of ends up like The Empire Strikes Back, where Han Solo winds up frozen in carbonite. It was really a surprising bright spot in an otherwise lackluster season. So those are the 5 things I liked about season 13. Here's what I disliked. Number 6, the Grand Serpent villain, and his story just appears to be inserted as filler. His story seems to start from and go nowhere. Was his involvement in Unit supposed to retcon some continuity problems? I just didn't get it. He was not an interesting villain at all. There is a fun fan theory that explains why the 3rd Doctor, played by John Pertwee, has a certain serpent tattoo it's seen in Spearhead from Space. It went something like, the 2nd Doctor actually regenerated into the Joe Martin Fugitive Doctor, because at the end of the War Games you don't actually see who the 2nd Doctor regenerates into. So the Fugitive Doctor joins the Order of the Grand Serpent and gets a snake tattoo or something like that. The fan theory was more interesting than what we actually got, which goes to show you that sometimes fans put more thoughts into these things than writers do. Number 5, we find that Tectoon, the true founder of the Time Lords, is still alive and waiting to abandon our Flux-ravaged universe for a new one, only to have her killed off by principal villains, the Swarm and Azure, perhaps because she's the only person who can explain the Doctor's true origins that are contained in a fob watch by a data module. I guess this is to help keep the Doctor's origins shrouded in mystery. Number 4, the Binder and Bell story arc. The fan theory rumor for them was that they would turn out to be the Doctor's parents, which I thought could be plausible. I thought that perhaps somehow Bell absorbs the energy of the Flux while helping the Doctor in an attempt to stop it. She and Binder would be stuck back in time near where Tectoon had found the timeless child. This would have meant that the Doctor was actually created by the Flux. I thought it would be a cool idea anyway, but of course nothing like that happened. Their love story was just thrown in as more filler, it seems. I found Bell's little Tamagotchi handheld computer particularly annoying. Number 3, the awkward insertion of historical figures Mary Seacole and Joseph Williamson. Mary Seacole was a Caribbean-born nurse who helped care for wounded soldiers in the Crimean War in a makeshift hospital. They had the Sontaran alternative history story awkwardly wrapped around her story. Didn't really make too much sense. Joseph Williamson was known to give men in the Liverpool area money for digging pointless tunnels rather than just giving them handouts. In this story, the tunnels relate to the Flux, or the main villains Swarm and Azure, or the planet Time. It was hard to follow. Williamson spends most of the stories he's in just spouting gibberish. Number 2, we have another pair of godlike aliens, Swarm and Azure, which made me wonder if they intended to bring back the godlike aliens from Can You Hear Me, Zelen and Rakaya, who would have wanted to get their revenge on the Doctor for trapping them. Perhaps those actors were unavailable, and they had to go with these new godlike creatures who were striking looking, so a good job from the practical effects and costume departments, but their motivations to me, their relationship to the Flux, and what they wanted to do with all those people were a little murky to me. A third creature called Passenger just seems to be a trans-dimensional vessel in which the Swarm and Azure traps large amounts of people. Also, I thought it was weird that in one scene, another actor plays Old Swarm, and it doesn't happen again in any other scene in the 6 parts of the season. I don't know if another actor was supposed to play the role, he backed out, and they didn't have time to reshoot the scene. I just found it weird without any explanation. Also, Azure has a similar situation to the fugitive Doctor, where she's living a secret life as a human with a seemingly human man, and then her reveal as an alien leads to her human companion's death, which I found an odd coincidence. Was it deliberate? Who knows? That didn't make any sense either. And coming in number 1, the Flux itself, which just turns out to be a really huge world-destroying MacGuffin, an amorphous cloud of antimatter. It was just a catalyst for a season story arc that went nowhere. We learned nothing new about the Doctor over the course of the season, which I thought was particularly disappointing. Now I wonder, did Chris Chibnall have this Doctor Who Flux card game? I think my wife got this for me from the bargain bin at Barnes & Noble as a gift. I never had anybody who wanted to play with me though. Anyway, I think maybe Chris Chibnall was playing it and he pulled out some cards for some story ideas. That happens in the story. The angels have taken the phone booth. So I think that's kind of funny, but who knows how he came up with the story. Overall, the Flux story arc was disappointing. Aside from some cute lines and dialogue here and there, it didn't really advance the series or our understanding of the Doctor as the timeless child. It just added to the confusing mess that is the Chibnall era. Showrunners in general seem to shy away from world building in favor of having a less defined world, or a world that is in a constant state of flux. I'm not sure of the reasoning behind this, other than that they are afraid that a well-defined world inevitably leads to continuity problems and also potentially alienates new viewers who will need to be immersed in the past episodes in order to enjoy the series and may not want to commit the time to it. But in the age of binge watching through streaming services, you would think that many viewers would want that. The low ratings of the Flux show that Chibnall has successfully managed to alienate old fans while simultaneously failing to attract new ones. I, for one, am glad to see his reign as showrunner come to an end. It is one thing to shake up Doctor Who, and it's entirely another thing to be able to shake up Doctor Who and come up with something interesting that will please most members of the audience. Okay, that's all I have to say about the Flux. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and as always, I would appreciate it if you could like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much. Bye.
Subscribe to Spaceman Matt's Sci-Fi vlog today. The fate of the world depends on it, I guess.